Last year, GYPSY was telling creators that the anniversary of her mother's death is actually tomorrow on June the 10th. There has been a lot of confusion surrounding the actual day of Deedee's demise because Google lists it as June the 9th, 2015. However, we know according to text messages that Nicholas did not arrive to GYPSY's house until the early morning of June the 10th. I think it was at like 3 o'clock in the morning whenever he arrived. And then they stayed in the home until about 6 o'clock in the morning on June the 10th. So here, GYPSY is actually clarifying to one creator who posted on June the 9th of 2024 about Deedee's passing. She's correcting the creator, saying, no, it wasn't on June the 9th. It was actually on June the 10th. And then she further explains, obviously Google gets a lot wrong because I know what day to regret for the rest of my life. However, GYPSY is now contradicting herself and her previous words from last year in her book and today. Here you can see that GYPSY is trying to tell everyone that it happened on June the 9th. And not only did the death of her mother and the anniversary of her mother's death happen on June the 9th, she is also claiming that this was the same day that she saw Aurora's first sonogram. So when did she decide to change the narrative around the death date? Because just last year she was correcting content creators saying, no, it wasn't on the 9th, it was actually on the 10th. And then in her book and in this post, she is claiming that it happened on June the 9th. So if it really did happen on June the 10th and Google has gotten it wrong, I think you and everyone else needs to go and give that feedback to Google so that Google will change it on their website to reflect June the 10th rather than June the 9th. And I've already sent that feedback to Google with the screenshots showing the text messages of GYPSY and Nicholas speaking on June the 10th and him not getting there until June the 10th. GYPSY also confirming that it didn't happen on June the 10th, because if Google is wrong, we need Google to update its memory so that it can reflect the actual date of Deedee's death. I would hope that you would agree, because we don't want misinformation out there. And right now the misinformation is saying that GYPSY unalived her mother on June the 9th. So we need to get that taken care of. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to go and report that to Google, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I forgot to mention that with the confusion, a lot of people saw the autopsy, saw the text messages, and saw the coroner's report. And I think that that's where all of the confusion was. But even though we know GYPSY's word is basically shit, we know with our own eyes that we saw her texting Nicholas on June the 10th and he still wasn't there. So we can surmise that it didn't happen on June the 9th, that it actually happened on June the 10th. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And if you like content like this, make sure you hit that follow button and don't forget to like, comment, save, and share the video. I'll see you in the next one.